Hello, my name is Alencia Lamb, and this is my video summary for MKT532, or Consumer Behavior, for Module 7, titled Culture, Consumption, and User Experience. The topics discussed in this module were consumer culture theory, user experience, and consumer influence. Consumer culture theory is defined as the way our society is constructed around our buying habits and how we use goods and/or services. Consumer culture has the ability to alter one's decisions, values, and actions, manipulate social and business trends, and determine goods and services available in its usage. The essential elements for consumer culture are materialism, advertising and marketing, branding and identity, conspicuous consumption, which will be mentioned soon, and consumerism. There are 4 unique categories within the consumer culture theory, with those 4 categories being consumer identity projects, marketplace cultures, socio-historical patterning of consumption, and consumer interpretation strategy. Going back to conspicuous consumption, this is defined as acquiring material goods that are rare or limited edition and oftentimes expensive for the purpose of social signaling. As mentioned in Module 5, titled Identity, Signaling, and Group Influence, signaling is how living organisms communicate with each other. Conspicuous consumption gives the signal that the individual is either a part or wants to be a part of the in-group and will assimilate. It is worth mentioning that influence plays a major role in culture and is often referred to as the blueprint of human activity. More times than not, conspicuous consumptions are material items and rapidly changes with current trends. Examples of conspicuous consumption could be the latest iPhone, the new Coach purse, or the new Bath & Body Works collection. On the other hand, inconspicuous consumption is when an individual invests in human, social, and/or cultural capital. Examples of this could be the donor of a new scholarship, someone helping to build a new recreational center, or becoming a silent partner in a startup company. Consumer culture plays a direct role in user experience, where consumers' interactions with a brand depends on how they feel. It depends on the quality of the experience a person has when interacting with a specific product or service. The key principles of user experience are an early focus on users and designated tasks, empirical measurements, and iterative design. Some user experience process constants are user-centered design. The earlier, more iterations or low commitment or discount methods, the better. User experience architect details, which are very important. The basic components that make up the user experience design are the business's goals, the user interface, and the technology used. The 5 planes of user experience are strategy, scope, structure, skeleton, and surface. A person's cultural background can easily influence purchase decisions, being that their background is considered one's in-group. For example, if a person grew up in a household where their parents were very frugal with their spending and mainly spent on basic necessities, then that person would more than likely become frugal with their spending as an adult. A more personal example of cultural background influencing purchasing decisions is buying handbags and shoes, something that I like. Growing up, I always saw my grandmothers and my mom with nice handbags and purses as well as shoes. Since my teenage years and now being a young adult, I too like to buy nice handbags and shoes, despite only being able to wear one pair of each at a time. Being that these influential women in my life like name brand purses and shoes, I have become accustomed to also buying name brands such as Brahmin, Nike, and Steve Madden. Though I grew up in an environment where brand apparel or name brand apparel was purchased, I have learned to become a smarter spender since I am not at the same financial level as my elders, of course. One of the main things that I have learned to do is become a sales shopper, or only buying items when there's a good sale going on. As we all know, name brand apparel is usually better quality, and it also has the price tag to match its worth. So since I have begun to make my own money as a teenager, I have learned to shop semi or just annual sales to get the best price possible while still being able to get the high quality items. Again, my name is Valencia Lamb, and this is my video summary for Module 7, Culture, Consumption, and User Experience.